Hi, everybody, and welcome to another informational interview from AL Homecare. Today, I'm joined by Olivia Guilfoyle from Homecare Medical, and we'll be discussing falls prevention in the home today. So thank you for joining me, Olivia.
Good morning. Hi, Eileen. Hi, everybody.
So just to get us started, so Olivia, can you tell me about Homecare Medical and your role within the company?
Okay. I suppose just starting with Homecare Medical, they are a business that were set up in 1988, originally with continence wear. The founders were Peter, Noel, and Mary McGuinness. And that company is now celebrating 35 years in business at the moment, and it has progressed from incontinence wear to looking at medical consumables, medical devices, specialized medical equipment, and again, continence wear, continence care are predominant products that our company sell. There's 120 staff here. We have shops nationwide in Ireland from Athlone, Dundalk, Limerick, Cork, Galway. There is 9 stores altogether, and the main base here is in Ballyhonus. There's about 120 staff, and the range of expertise varies from specialized seating to retail in our shops, selling medical products. My role in Homecare Medical, I suppose, has only really begun this year. It's a developing role. Homecare Medical would have worked with the multidisciplinary teams, physiotherapists, doctors, pharmacists, OTs for years. So I suppose as an OT, I would have good knowledge of all the different equipment that's available and what people use as solutions to help them be as independent as possible at home. Homecare Medical, that's a big part of their ethos. They want people to be cared for at home for as long as they want, comfortably in their own community, and to support that as much as possible. But Homecare also supplies equipment to the HSC nursing homes as well. So being at home is important, and I know that's part of the ethos of Homecare as well. My role would be advisory, educational, helping people more make decisions around buying the right equipment. There's so much choice out there now. People don't know what to buy. Sometimes there's not just one shower stool, there's shower chairs, the shower seats, they tilt back, they fold down. There's so many choices and so many sizes. So often people will ask me to give them maybe more direction and help them make the correct kind of product solution that will suit their needs and their home environment as well, because home environments are so different as well. So different equipment can suit different home environments, and also depending on the condition and what kind of disabilities or what kind of frailties the person has, they might need to have different equipment solutions. So it's very individual, very personalized, and that's something Homecare embraces as well, helping people make an individual choice.
Okay, that's great, Olivia. Thank you for that. So today we're discussing falls prevention in the home. So can you tell me, as an occupational therapist, how common are falls in older adults?
Falls, particularly over 65, 1 in 3 people can have a fall. And it's not always detrimental. As they say, some people, only 1 in 10 might have a minor fall, but there is that percentage that you can have a major fall, and that can be 20 and 30% may suffer injuries. That can be mainly, I suppose, head injury, fractures, 45% of fractures, hips, one of the most, 90% of hip fractures can be from falls. There is also concussion, lacerations, bruises, various kind of injuries can happen because of a fall, but it is a huge part of our healthcare system that we deal with people that are falling, the injuries that they have. And I suppose as people are getting older, particularly over 75, 4 and 5 of those times that people may fall during the year can be detrimental in that they may not return back to their home. It may affect their independence. They may have to spend some time recovering in a nursing home. And I suppose preventing that from happening is very important. And it's what we want as healthcare professionals and even in home care, that we want to maintain people at home as much as possible, but and where they want to be, you know. So yeah, it can affect your independence and living at home quite a lot. And people can have quite big injuries, particularly as they get older, over 75. Women have slightly higher risk of injury than men. I think 21% is compared to men, 17%. But yes, it is. It's a huge deal. And I think people think, oh, that comes with aging. It's not always, part of aging. Falls can happen and they can be prevented. So as an OT, preventing them falls happening within the home and taking them steps can make the odds, I say, less for a person to have a fall,
Yeah.
I suppose one of the main things as an OT, I suppose we'd recommend and look at is the intrinsic factors first. I suppose going back to the internal stuff like the medications, your medical condition, your sensory, that when I say that, it's your vision, your hearing, what medications you're taking, what side effects they can be having. Again, your heart health. Are you suffering from postural hypertension? Are you having tachycardia, bradycardia? That's where your heart rate might be going off and it might make you dizzy, that you're susceptible to falls. And I suppose looking at those intrinsic factors, and then next thing, looking at the extrinsic factors, the things outside yourself within your home. As I say, I often say, look at them from the very first moment you walk in the door to going down the corridor, going into the kitchen, going up the stairs, going into your bedroom, toilet and bathroom, a very high risk area as well for falls because there's water, it's wet, it can be slippy. So I suppose often even imagining that journey, as they say, for yourself, what's your own individual risks, what's your condition, looking at those things and seeing, can you prevent things at the home? And often each individual room we'd nearly look at and what you can safe proof your home and look at the home modifications that can come with making those risks less. So for example, in your bathroom, it's the slippy one. It's the one that people fall an awful lot, falling in the bath, falling in the shower. You may look at grab rails, non-slip mats, keeping floors dry, particularly after having a shower, using mobility devices, as they say, using the right walking aid, using a shower seat, shower stool, bath aids, this powered bath aids, this seats that fit into the bath. There's also on your toilet a raise that you can put on that maybe if the seat was too low, you're struggling, you're shaking to kind of rocking back and forward to try and get yourself off. Sometimes having a raise can make it just easier to transfer and less risk of falling. People are often holding on to their sinks and onto the edges of baths that are sometimes wet and their hands slip and fall, or holding onto a towel that's going to give way. Often having a proper grab rail beside those toilets, beside the bath, beside the shower can prevent that from happening. And that's just your bathroom. Your bedroom, there's so many things, trailing leads, getting those electrical cords out of the way, rugs that have curls at the end of them and frills that catch onto the edges of rollators, or even skirts for ladies that catch onto the wheels of their rollators, and better maybe to have trousers. Footwear, another important one. People often have the wrong footwear. They're putting on the flippity floppity ones, and often you can trip very easily on those. So having footwear that has heel support, that has laces that are not coming loose, maybe having Velcro straps, or that you're leaving the shoes loose if you have swelling in your legs, that you look at the right footwear, even down to that, can make such a huge difference. Sometimes the bed might be too low, might be too high. Very important that your feet are flat on the floor. We'd say your knee and your hip should be on line, 90 degrees. Sometimes if you're too high up, your feet are off the ground, you're jumping off the bed. That's equally a falls risk. Whereas if you're on a very low bed, you're shaking, you can't get out, and you're grabbing onto things trying to get yourself up. So there's different kind of beds, there's different kind of bed raisers you can use, bed levers. I can go on, Eileen. I'm probably boring you, but yeah, and everyone, it might overwhelm you. But there's loads of solutions out there.
Yeah. No, I just know that as we all age, it is probably one of the biggest fear is the fear of falling because, like you said, it means the difference between a person being able to stay at home or not. And I think it's really important, especially in the home environment, to understand that there are lots of these little aids available to them. And, once those are in place, you've done everything that you can to ensure, your safety against falling at home, which is really important to keep you there.
Even though I'm talking about the bigger falls, even those minor falls that people have, that in itself can have effect mentally. You can kind of really destroy your confidence. You kind of lose your kind of ability to think, oh, I want to be safer and stay at home and maybe not get out as much as you should, you know. So even confidence, having those minor falls does build up, you know, and really, I suppose, getting out there, using mobility. Sometimes people go, I'm not going to use mobility aids, you know, but actually sometimes getting a walk stick, you probably will get out and exercise maybe more, you know. It's not something that should hold you back. It should make life more enjoyable, better quality, you know, that you can do the things you want to do. And I suppose that's my role as an OT. OTs look at your occupation, which is, you know, what you have to do every day, what you need to do sometimes every day. Get up, get dressed, drive to the shops. They can be the mundane things, but the things that sustain you. So if things are holding you back, and if you're afraid to have a fall, and, you know, these are, you know, there's so many solutions that can just kind of maintain your independence and make you more confident, you know. And sometimes making the decision to go, oh, maybe I just get the grab rail, get that walk aid, it might just improve things and open the world up again more for you, you know.
Yeah, I agree with you. I agree. So, Olivia, what advice would you give to somebody who has been recently told that they're at high risk of falling? What advice would you give to them?
I suppose there's so many contributing factors to a fall. One of the main ones are medications, your actual health. You know, if you've got a particular condition, sometimes people that might have Parkinson's are more predisposed to have a fall because of the condition that it is. Sometimes with MS, often they have their own support groups, their own resources. They have wonderful web pages. Maybe going directly to, if you have a particular condition, going to them web pages, they might give you actual direct specific advice. But I suppose your first point to call is your GP. Looking at your medications, seeing as their side effects, making sure you're on top of those and taking your medications as prescribed. Sometimes people forget there's so many to take. There's different pill organizers, pill alarms that can remind you to take your medication, because sometimes people maybe forget to, and then they're not on top of their maybe postural hypertension that cause dizziness. So and again, your GP can monitor your health that little bit more and monitor those medications, so make sure you're on top of that. Looking at your balance and stability, your mobility, your local physiotherapist, or private if you have to look at what is your mobility like, what's your balance like, because you are more susceptible to fall. And as you age, the body is aging, your strength, your balance, your coordination isn't as good as what when you were younger. So look at those things. Accessing your OT, sometimes you have to maybe wait in your waiting list with the HSE, but as you say, getting your OT in, looking at your home, does it need modifications? Do I need to make the decision to move my bedroom downstairs? I'm not managing them stairs. It's a detriment to me. And admitting it to yourself sometimes is very hard. But getting your OT, and maybe a second rail, a stair rail might help you to stay upstairs if you want to stay upstairs for longer. It's about doing, I suppose, maintaining what you want as an OT and maintaining your independence as safely as possible, and us supporting decisions if you really want to stay upstairs. Or again, having to adapt to your bedroom, bringing it downstairs, applying for the grant and getting maybe a level access shower installed and ensuite in your bedroom, that you have a level shower that you have to walk in, you don't have to climb into a confined space that could be slippy, where you fall in and then can be very difficult to get somebody out of. A level access shower can actually promote more freedom, independence. So sometimes it might be an option for people to do that. There's grants available, so you can look at those type of things. Other minor things that you can change is removing those rugs, those trailing leads, kind of moving them out of the way. Clutter around the house, bins that are up in your doorways, move them out of the way, give yourself space. Using items that you need in the kitchen, have them on the shelves. No bending, over bending, as they say, down, overreaching, because then you lose your balance a little bit more. Using a pickup stick, that so you don't have to overbend, over balance or whatever, or overreach, that can be hugely beneficial. And again, maintaining the health that you have, as I say, keeping exercise, looking at your, sometimes even continence might be an issue, because sometimes at night time not getting to the toilet on time and having leakages can cause kind of issues. And maybe looking at protective products that can prevent you having to be rushing, that can be another kind of small but can be an important thing to look at. Nutrition, looking at your having the right supplementation, particularly as women as they get older. Osteoporosis, osteopenia, you might have to look at vitamin D, your calcium, your GP can give you advice around those areas. Let me see. Oh, there's so many things. As they say, hydration. If you're not drinking enough water, you can get dizzy. You can faint. So those your proper nutrition, your proper hydration is really important. Limiting alcohol. Alcohol is a big contributing factor to falls. So limiting alcohol, particularly if you're taking certain medications. And I suppose having a pendant alarm is one that particularly that people find is very useful, that they can use to contact people if they're ever at a time period on their own. There is an alert scheme or whatever senior alert scheme you can get for with limited means can get the pendant alarm. Also, there's different devices like mats or whatever that you put in a chair, mats you can put on a bed. If you do have a fall, it alerts your carer that you have fallen, that you need help. And often people say, I have my mobile phone on me, I can ring somebody if I have a fall. Sometimes you don't, but if you do, I say, or having an emergency numbers available, that you have contacts, that you can contact somebody if you fall, that you can get help quickly. Some of the very many things that you can look at. It's such a multifactorial thing, falls, but there is elements in your control, and that you can, I suppose, figure out your own individual risk, knowing that that's the place I could probably fall, going up those steps, back door. Maybe I need to put a rail, maybe I need to ramp off that steps, that I just don't be falling. And again, I suppose rushing, people are often rushing outside, going out in weather, particularly in the winter time now, coming into slippery kind of ground, leaves on the ground where you slip on. So like sometimes that might be just those elements that you have to kind of go, I'm not going to go out that back door entrance, it's just too wet and windy, I'll blow over today, or not putting those clothes out on the line, it's just too risky this evening, Looking at lighting as well at home, simple lighting, that you have got a good night light maybe beside the bed, that you have a night light in the corridor going to the toilet, or it's bright in your kitchen, it's bright in your bathroom, that you can see what you're doing, And again, for clients that maybe would have cognitive issues, dementia issues, contrast is a big thing sometimes. Looking at the grab rails that have the bright colours, because you can contrast and see them better. Looking at it, maybe an edge on the stairs, as I say, putting colour contrast there so that the person can see the steps and the edges that little bit easier, that they don't misstep. Those small changes can make a big difference.
Yeah, all great advice, Olivia. There's a lot in it. It's very multifaceted, isn't it? Yeah. So it is really a case of a person just looking at their overall way of living at home, just taking a good overall look at it and putting in the measures, to be able to prevent falls at home. So
wearing your glasses, putting in those hearing aids, you can sometimes forget. Yeah.
So
and getting your carer to help you, sometimes prompt you as well, to tell you, oh, don't forget,
Yeah, it's great. And actually having a live-in carer, that person is there with you 24/7, it's great to have that reassurance as well, that if there is a fall, that the carer will be there to react in the case of an emergency. So that's good. And where can people find out more about falls prevention products that are available to them?
I suppose there's so many products out there. I suppose in Homecare Medical, we have a range of mobility aids, shower aids, bedroom aids. Again, outdoors as well, for helping getting in with transfers in and out of the car. Transfers are huge as well, looking at different kind of transfer aids, transfer boards, sit to stand transfers. You can have hoisting. It might be just safer for somebody. The right mobility, like the proper wheelchair, maybe for getting outside. You might manage your mobility inside, but you might need a wheelchair for going distances. Your HSC also, your physios, your OTs are all there. They can give you advice on the proper aid for you based on individualized assessment and be very specific. There's different retail stores with Homecare Medical. There is different resources online. Each kind of falls.ie. There is Aging Ireland, there is Carers, Family Carers Association. They give great advice. Alzheimer's as well, Dementia Ireland, they give wonderful advices on their web pages. There's also brilliant apps out there as well as super apps that you can go to the App Store and look up literally falls, and they'll give you different apps and advices on how to maybe adapt your home, what aids work, what aids don't work. It's so broad and sometimes so individual. Yeah, but they'd be some of the many resources that are just out there. Yeah.
Okay, that's great.
Again, I suppose there's different companies. I suppose for like even car adaptations, there's different mobility, you know, for if you need to put equipment into the car. There's loads. There's loads of your grants, your there's lots. Yeah.
Okay, that's great. Thank you, Olivia, and thank you so much for taking time out to speak with me today about this very important topic. So thank
Yeah.
you.
So you see, there's so much information. I suppose there's kind of education around it as well, you know, and you
Yeah.
can, yeah. The different agencies do have different kind of trainings available for carers that it is well worth looking at fall prevention. Even course, even have a look at that you can do online. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Brilliant. Thank you, Olivia.
Okay.
So thanks everybody for watching. If you can like and share this video, please try and share it on your Facebook page, because I think it's a very important topic that even if it doesn't apply to you, it might apply to somebody in your friend network. We'll have the contact details on this video as well for Homecare Medical and for AL Homecare. So thank you very much.